the world today? It's in love. I'm back with Thunderbolt. 1,000 Siren Production. I almost said Thunderbolt Ross. What is this, the Hulk? Whatever. Clapham Junction, Collision 29. Almost 32 years later. Can we get at least 2 likes on this video? That'll really help me a lot. So without further ado, here we go.
You know, sometimes
Sounds like you're turning on a computer.
You want to fix it, but the way you can try and fix it only makes things worse. That was unfortunately the case at Clapham Junction Station, just outside of London, England. In 1988, British Rail decided that its 40-year-old signal system needed to be replaced with a new one. So, signal maintainers, as well as electricians, went to work replacing the older signals with new ones. However, when it came to the Clapham Junction signal, it was clearly not wired correctly. This would cause it to display false information and cause, confusion and delay.
Not confusion and delay!
December 12th,
We hate confusion and delay!
A teen train from Basingstoke to London Waterloo Station.
That's the most oddly colored
train made up of 3 4-car British Rail Class 432 or 4VP EMUs was approaching Clapham Junction when the driver noticed that the signal ahead of him was red when it should have been yellow. Amazingly, he had to stop his train.
I thought they only had green and red.
Problem to the signal box by telephone.
That looked like a school.
However,
No, it looked like a store.
Saying that there was
It looked like a store, a marketplace.
Obviously, that was complete bogus. What he didn't know was
it was totally bogus, dude.
Was getting rubbish signals too. It was made up of 4 British Rail Class 432 4 REP cars and 2 4TC multiple units.
More numbers!
And slammed into the stopped Basingstoke train.
Boop.
Wreckage tumbled all across the side of the tracks.
And on the grass.
Not
the grass! That's living cells over there dying through these trains. Arrogance!
Passing on the adjacent line when it tripped over the wreckage as it was coming into the station. That wasn't enough. A 4th train was coming too.
How do you keep getting this together with all these billion tracks at once?
The engineer was able to see the trains and stop just in time before he could hit the wreckage. After the roar of the crash subsided, the driver of the Basingstoke train, who was still standing by the telephone, noticed his train was pushed forward several feet by the collision. He immediately picked up the receiver and spoke to the signalman, this time informing him of the horrible collision that had just occurred and asking him to immediately call emergency services. The signalman immediately switched all signals he could to danger and signaled to the signal boxes he had on the obstruction on the line. However, he had no control over the automatic signals and was not able to stop the 4th train, which was luckily able to stop. He then called the Clapham Junction station master and asked him to call the emergency services.
Station master? That's what we call the game master. Except this is not this is not one of the game. This is not one of the room escapes.
So the operator
escape rooms, excuse me.
Park electrical control room suspected that there must have been a derailment, so he reconfigured the supply so that the nearby Wimbledon trains could run fine. The wreckage, however, looked like something out of the Blitz bombings during World War II.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Or what's left of it.
It's not like anybody back then used a train in World War II to shoot guns. That'd be cool, but that'd be terrifying.
This one was thrown right to the side of the track.
Just stop by town and let anybody near sight just.
Manuel School, who were the first on scene to the disaster. When rescuers arrived, they couldn't believe what they were seeing.
I cannot
trains
believe it.
One another, with badly injured people in the middle of it, and chaos. It was a mess.
Like me, it was a mess.
The rescue, however, was hampered because the railway was in a cutting, with metal fences at the top and a wall at the bottom of a wooden slope. The last casualty was taken to hospital at
a couple of these people just like sitting and chilling on top of this train.
Removed at 15:45. A total of 35 people lost their lives. 69 were seriously injured, and another 415 only sustained minor injuries.
So minor that they had to show this ad, just to show how minor this deal really is. Any second now. With the... Oh.
To the zero, you can win all these new things.
No, leave me alone, honey. I'm tired of you. So tired of these Sunday commercials. I didn't care from the first time I watched them.
Investigation
Or they showed up on my screen.
The wiring on the signal was clearly messed up. This would mean that the signal would not show a danger aspect when the
danger
immediately in front of the signal was occupied. A 1978 British Rail Southern Region report had concluded that due to the age of the equipment, resignaling needed to be done by 1986. However, approval was given in 1984 after a report of 3 wrong-side signal failures. The resignaling project had been planned out, assuming more people were available and employees felt that the program was inflexible and under pressure to get the work done. Installing and testing was carried out on the weekend during voluntary overtime.
Stupid.
The technician had been working a 7-day week for the previous 13 weeks. The rewiring had been done a few weeks previously, but the fault had only developed the previous day when equipment had been moved and the loose and uninstalled wire created a false feed to a relay. The signaling technician in question did not cut back, installated, or even tie back the loose wires, and his work was not supervised or expected upon by an independent person, as was required by British Rail. In particular, a wire count that would have identified the false wire had not been removed and was not carried out. There was also inadequate training, assessment, supervision, and even testing, with a lack of understanding the risk of signal failures, which were not monitored effectively. After the accident, testing was mandated on British Rail signaling work, and the hours of employees involved in the safety critical work was very limited. British Rail, however, was fined £250,000.
That's a lot of
for
queens.
breach of the Health and Safety Work Act. To Americans like me, that's $333.
That's a lot of beds.
$25 US. Ouch. After the Basing station
Ow!
stopped at the next
My
signal
kidney.
after the faulty
I mean my
one,
spleen.
in accordance with
I mean my
the rule book,
arteries.
it was suggested that this may not be the best way
Arteries.
of handling
I look
faulty
danger.
signals.
Danger!
The Basingstoke train carried on to the signal following the next. The crash probably wouldn't have happened, because the Bournemouth train would have stopped at the signal where the crash occurred. As of 1999, the rulebook has not been changed. Unfortunately, even 29 years after this crash, some
32.
people say that the lessons of
Almost.
Clapham Junction may have been forgotten. In December 29, 2016, a pair of redundant points at Cardiff Central have been left into an unsafe condition, undetectable by the signaling system. Thankfully, the driver noticed this and prevented a serious accident from occurring. Excessive work hours, the cancellation of route-proving trains, and a lack of detailing planning were cited as contributory factors of the incident, which begs the question, will a wreck like the Clapham Junction collision ever happen again?
Again with these questions. Again with these questions. Alright, I thank you guys for watching this reaction. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe for more on my channel. Recommend me to some more videos you would like for me to react to. Ring that bell for notifications on upcoming videos. And until next time, I'm Said Love, and I'll see you guys soon!